Ayan, ayan, kamusta kayo dyan? Eto na talaga, eto na, eto na, eto na, eto na, eto na, eto, dito na nga tayo nagsimula, di ba? Kaya naalala niyo, sabi ko, ayan na, di ba? Ganito, ganyan nagsimula yung ating vlogs, guys. Ganito nagsimula itong career natin as a vlogger. In addition, of course, dun sa mga ginagawa natin, medyo legit, medyo, uh, medyo mainstream. Wait lang, hindi ko pala naayos yan. Sorry guys ah. Ayan tayo eh. Ayan tayo. Masyadong excited. Masyadong excited. Masyadong excited. Hindi Oh man. Ayan na. Ayan na. Ayan na. Ayan na. Ayan na. Ayan na. Dami nangyayari. Matagal ko sinasabi na ayan na talaga mangyayari sa ating bayan. Sino yung gumawa ng ano ko, yung, di ba may gumawa sa akin ng ano, uh, parang pangit pakinggan. Hindi, walang kinalaman sa Urge yan, Urge, E-R-J-J-J. Hindi, di ba may gumawa sa atin ng parang yung comedy na, ayan na, yung medyo ganun something back in the day. Nasaan na po kayo, sir? Nasaan na po kayo yung mga, magaling gumawa ng cartoons, caricature? Grabe guys naman. Nainggit na nga ako dun sa ibang vloggers nga. May mga libreng painting pa sa kanila ng mga fans paintings. May mga ganun-ganun na parang glorified pa sila. Yung iba nga may action may action ano pa, figure pa sila. Ibang klase. Tayo, cartoon lang na maayos. Wala. Kala ko pa naman guys. Guys, baka naman guys. Yung iba nga kakasimula lang mag-vlog, may action figure na, may may fans club na, may ganun na. Ayan na. Okay lang naman, nag-work ka naman sa Marcos admin, okay lang naman, normal lang 'yon. Yung iba naman, 'di ba? May mapapamak na naman tayo. Mapapamak naman. Nah, I'm just kidding guys. Na good vibes tayo. Kasi ang dami nangyari, daming ganap. Like there's just so much going on, guys. So much going on at ayan, dami nagvo-volunteer na gumawa ng caricature pero may bayad. Andyan tayo, doon tayo. Kung may bayad, may na tayo, graphic designer, yung gumawa ng graphic design ng RRM natin. Ayan. Pwede naman natin ilagay yan, guys, yung graphic design ng RRM. Kaya ko naman pagawa yan. Yeah, but guys, seriously, eto na guys, dami nangyari. Wow. That escalated too fast. Nag-update lang tayo sa pangyari sa ibang bansa, no? Eto na, mukhang in trouble na si Donald Trump. Donald Trump in trouble. After Rust Belts, now pati dun sa, mga Sun Belts, sa mga Sunshine States, medyo kulelat na rin si Donald Trump ngayon. He's in big trouble, man. He's in big trouble. Sabi ko yung J.D. Vance din, patalo talaga kay Trump yan eh. That guy, patalo kay Trump. Like, can you imagine, Trump now is the one making, parang siya pa yung nag-explain dun sa mga pinagsasabi ni J.D. Vance. Parang Trump is now acting as the adult in the room, although of course mas matanda siya. So anyway, I'm not necessarily a fan of Kamala. For a long time, mahabang usapan yan. But the person is clearly having a surge at dire-diretso yung momentum niya. So kakalabas ng isa pang survey. So back-to-back, 2 surveys showing, this is Siena, New York Times. These are the same surveys that were showing Trump was ahead of Biden not long ago. So now, all legit surveys are suggesting na Kamala Harris is picking up. So, delegado si Trump. He has to do something significant. Now, I'm not saying the race is over. I'm just saying, if current trend lines continue, eto na, Kamala. Of course, kung maalala si Kamala, dumalaw dito sa Pilipinas back in 2022. Pumunta pa siya sa Palawan, nagpakita ng support sa Philippine Coast Guard. So, she's not necessarily, problematic. If anything, sa pagkaalam ko, ang ganda ng rapport niya with President Obama. I said, yeah, of course, rapport niya is very good with President Obama. Protege ni Obama yan. Kaya ang joke nga is, anyway, very good din yung, very good din ang rapport niya with President Marcos Jr. And, well, if it comes to Trump, mahabang usapan yan. There's so many unpredictabilities there. At least with Kamala Harris, we know more or less it's going to be continuation what's happened. Anyway, move on na tayo sa US. I'm just saying, I'm trying to keep up with multiple developments all around the world, including sa US, kasi parating na elections and most likely I have to go to US, Washington, D.C., etc. to also cover yung nangyari sa US elections. I'm trying to also keep in touch with developments in terms of cabinet formation, in terms of foreign policy position of the US should the Trump administration take over. I'm also following ano yung sinasabi nila Gordon and yung mga ibang key national security advisors ni Kamala Harris. So lahat yan tinitignan natin ngayon, di ba? So anyway, go back to this. Alam ko yung marami sa mga followers natin ay pro-Trump. Interesting nga, maraming mga pro-Lenny tapos pro-Trump. That's an interesting, or like anti-Digong pero pro-Trump. It's like, okay, that's an interesting combination. I kind of see the argument, but whatever. Anyway, let's go back to this, guys. Eto na. Ito yung mga sinasabi ni Senator Trillanes for a very, very long time. Diba? The Trillanes line of argument is that galit si Digong sa mga drug lords dahil, alam niyo na, connected dots. Essentially, it's the whole conspiracy theory, essentially, of consolidation, centralization, co-optation, right? Connected dots na. Alright. Anyway, yun yung line of argument nila Senator Trillanes noon pa. At noon pa lang, he was directly questioning isa sa mga anak ni Digong. Alam niyo naman sino yan, diba? So noon pa lang itong issue na yan ay nagsisurface. Except back in the day, Duterte's were in power. So good luck with that. And that tells you gaano matapang si Trillanes. And of course, a lot of that tapang also comes from the fact that he comes from the military background. Yung mga kabatch niya lahat in key positions of military. Marami siyang mga connections all around the world. At matapang siyang tao, period. Right? So lahat ng mga sinasabi ni Trillanes noon, ngayon we're seeing na may mga lumalabas dito sa investigation sa Kongreso which kinda rhyme, if I can put it that way. So, pag-usapan natin guys ito, no? So before wag na tayo magmarites. Alam niyo na Glenda, consolidation, centralization, merger, and like, okay. Magkano na tayo corporate studies analysis na tayo. Bago tayo pupunta dun sa response ni Sara Duterte, because Sara Duterte had the response kanina about this, obviously the usual stuff, drama, political lang yan, ayan. Imagine mo, mga Duterte ngayon ay biktima, sila na daw ang kawawa, yan. Okay guys, ito. So ex-customs officer, right? Ex-customs officer. Ito guy, medyo intelligence ang background nito, kaya alam niya yung pinagsasabi niya. And ngayon nawala ng mga yung iba sa poder, siguro medyo kampante na siya para sabihin yung gusto niyang sabihin or i-share yung mga alam niya, 'di ba? So pag-usapan natin guys ito. Alright. So remember, for a very long time, itong pangalan ni Michael Yang ay lumilitaw, 'di ba? Sino ba tong Michael Yang na to? Paano ito naging presidential economic advisor? And then ang dami nag-analyze na ito si Michael Yang ay potentially involved sa dark underworld, right? So, bakit someone like Michael Yang, na hindi Filipino, Chinese sa pagkaalam natin, Chinese national, paano siya naging presidential advisor? Bakit siya ganun kalapit kay Digong? Not to mention, of course, you also have the curious case of Digong and Peter Lim, right? Si Digong at Peter Lim ay nag-meet din. Si Peter Lim ay dumalo dun sa Malacanang nung time na, at alam niya, of course, si Peter Lim ay accused also of being engaged in underground, drug-related activities. And then for some reason, wala naman nangyari kay Peter Lim. Kaya yun ang parating natin sinabi. Fake news ba yan? Fake news, not true. Na fake news itong buong Duterte drama about drug war. Kasi kung totoong galit siya sa droga, totoong hindi siya sangkot, medyo magmuna tayo dyan. Kung totoong galit siya sa droga at gusto niya mawala ng droga at galit siya sa drug lords, bakit itong mga tao, whether ito si Michael Yang, whether ito si Peter Lim, lahat sila either walang problema, hindi kinulong, walang nangyari, kinausap lang, or naging advisor pa. Or biglang next thing may kumpanya na. Or biglang Armali, laking project. So, these suspicious things were already circling around for a long time. It's just that habang si Digong ang presidente, habang mga Duterte ang mga nasa poder, good luck talaga kasi napakahina ng mga senadors natin back in the day with a few exception. At tignan mo naman ang ginawa nila dun sa mga lumaban. Kinuyod nila si Senator De Lima, na-hold up si Trillanes sa Senado for a time. Nakalutang siya legally in a sense na biglang nawala daw yung documents sa amnesty niya, so pwede siya ipakulong ulit. I mean, it was crazy. And then Riza Ontiveros, really, the last woman standing. It was an insane situation. At ngayon nakikita natin na lumalawas ng baho talaga. Lumalawas na purong japiks. Whether cases against De Lima, whether cases against Trillanes, whether cases against Rappler, whether cases against ABS-CBN. By the way, yung isang bumoto laban sa BBM ngayon, ang daming commercial ngayon. Batang-bata ka pa lang, daming budget ka na, tatakbo ka na para sa Senado. Masarap talaga maging mayaman, no? Takbo-takbo lang. So now lumalabas ng mga baho, no? But the thing is, it's one thing to accuse of Digong of being a fake strongman, of a fake anti-drug guy. It's another thing to say, no, hindi lang siya fake in the sense na palpak siya, mahina siya, wala siyang lakas ng loob, na purong performance lang, pakit lang, purong pa-flex-flex lang, wala naman laman. Hindi lang yun. Kasi kung mga ganun lang, si Boy Silly na lang pag-usapan natin, si Mr. Urge. Yun ang talagang puro antics and all. Pero in fairness naman, mukhang matinitin naman on other levels. Pero ito, talagang malalim ang issue na to. So ngayon, nagkaroon ng Quad committee, 4 committees on drugs, dangerous drugs, on human rights, on Pogo, lahat nagsama yan. So ngayon, talagang double time. So, this is the interesting thing. It is true that we have Sherwin Gatchalian. It's true that we have the likes of Riza Ontiveros doing fantastic hearings, next level hearings dyan sa Senado, talagang next level. Pero kung titignan mo, it's in the Congress where things are more or less in sync and moving forward in the most aggressive and some would say substantive way possible. Wala kang Robin Padilla, urge. Wala kang Bato de la Rosa, Polvoronic, mga hearings. Walang mga clown show na ganun sa Kongreso ngayon. Interesting in the Congress, which parating sinasabi ng lower house, na ito yung den ng katrapoism. Yun pa yung matino in terms of conducting hearings. If you follow the hearings in the Congress, you will see all of this group of lawyers. Yes, marami sa kanila galing sa political dynasties, whatever, but all of these lawyers engaging this really high level hearings and investigations. Ngayon, lumalabas na talagang baho, diba? Lumalabas na talagang baho, or allegedly, lumalabas na yung mga baho. Now, let's be very clear about this. Nakikita ko yung mga ibang patay gutom na bayaran na trollers, no? Na mga bayaran na vloggers. Yung iba pa, balita ko, based sa China pa yung iba dyan. Mga walang yan. Sabi niya, hindi, lang naman yan, allegations lang naman yan, wala naman yan. Hello, kayo ang puro allegations lang time na yan at kinuyot-kuyot nyo kung sino-sino. Lahat kami, dine-threats nyo, lahat kami na harass nyo, whatever, based on complete nonsense. Right? Ngayon, yari na kayo, di ba? So anyway, eto na, Jimmy Guban, former intelligence officer sa Bureau of Customs, implicated 2 members of the Duterte family and former presidential advisor Michael Yang dyan sa illegal drugs sa latest edition, okay, ng House Quad Committee's inquiry in Bacolor, Pampanga. Alright? Si Guban, ito, surprise witness ito, so talagang mukhang nagtaos puso na nakita niya, ito na yung chance niya, ito na yung panahon niya na magbubukingan. Ito sabi niya, nag-allege siya na si Davao First District Representative na si Polong at yung asawa pa ng kasalikulan ni Vice President at dating Secretary of Education at former economic advisor, presidential economic advisors na si Michael Yang ay sangkot daw sa importation ng mga illegal drugs. The former custom official claimed that the 3 owned the magnetic lifters that concealed. Naalala nyo guys, lumabas actually sa news yun noong 2018 'di ba? Biglang nasa news, tapos biglang hindi natin alam nangyari. Ito, yung 11 billion pesos worth of illegal drugs that were seized in Cavite back in 2018. Let me show you that news kasi naalala ko yan At ang hirap nung time na yan kasi parang shucks. Parang ang suspicious yung nangyari pero parang lahat natatakot or kung may magsasalita ka kung anong gagawin sa'yo. Ito yung news ng 2018, sorry para makita niyo yung reference point natin. Naalala ko to eh. Dami nagsalita doon. Tapos, dami nagsabi, hindi, may ano nangyari dyan, yung ganun-ganun. So, ngayon, lumalabas na yung baho, di ba? Lumalabas na talaga yung tunay na pangyayari, di ba? Grabe na to, guys. Grabe na talagang... Oof. So, just to remind you guys, nung 2018, 1,000 kilograms of shabu slip past authorities. Slip past authorities. Nakalusot. Daw. Daw, despite the coordinated efforts of the biggest anti-illegal drugs agencies sa buong Pilipinas. Ito ay anti-drug operations ng PNP, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency at Bureau of Customs. So, 3 agencies ang involved, nakalusot pa rin. So, nothing suspicious. Nothing suspicious at all. So, noon pa lang parang napapaisip na kami. Kaya naiisip ko yung mga sinasabi ni Trillanes nung time na yun. Parang, So, nung time na yun, August 10, 2018, no? 6 years ago, officials from the agencies presented 4 magnetic lifters similar to the ones presented just days before sa Manila International Container Terminal, which contained 500 kilogram, half a ton of shabu. So, baka wala pang, hindi lang 11 billion pesos yan. The new ones were found so meron pa silang ibang nahanap sa isang warehouse sa loob ng CRS Subdivision Barangay Reyes sa General Mariano Alvarez, Cavite. Ang pagkakaiba, these newly found metal lifters were already empty. Ibig sabihin, alam na this. So sa isang joint statement, sinabi ng 3 agencies na yan, we estimated that these 4 magnetic lifters contain approximately a ton, 1,000 kilogram of shabu with an estimated value of 6.8 billion pesos. PDEA used drug-sniffing dogs to confirm na itong mga metals na yan were used to contain drugs. Alright? So, na-confirm na talaga yan. Back then, ang sinabi ng PDEA ay sangkot daw dito is yung Golden Triangle Syndicate. Diba? Na alam niyo naman, may kinalaman naman doon sa favorite country ni Tatay Digong. So, confining their probe inside the country, the PDEA and PNP have listed at least 19 persons of interest, including 11 na Chinese nationals. Once they've built cases against them, authorities said will file charges for the violation of Comprehensive Dangerous Acts Republic Act 9165. And then, basically nothing happened. Until today, 2014. August in 2014, eto na. Remember, 2018, ang involved dito Bureau of Customs along with PDEA and PNP. Ngayon, an intelligence official, a top official within Bureau of Customs is coming out at eto na, nagbubukingan na, 'di ba? Alam na this, 'di ba? So, I'm just trying to put things into perspective, guys here. I'm just trying to put this into perspective. No, this is crazy. Wait, hindi pala naka-connect? Patay tayo dyan. Ba't dito naka-connect? 1 second. Sorry guys Bakit di mo lumalabas yung ano? Sorry, all the time I thought you're seeing all of these articles that we're posting here. Okay, anyways. Ay. Gusto ko sana ilabas ito para makita nyo guys. Bakit kaya ganun? Anyway, balikan natin I'm just gonna go through this. Hindi pala na-connect. Sorry, I'm reading all of these things. So, nung 2018, ito po yung news. No? You can check it. I'll put the links na lang there. So, I thought you're seeing all of this right now. So, ngayon, accusation naman itong taong ito ay dito sa accusation niya, ito si Mr. Guban, ito yung testimony niya, no? At ito yung sinabi rin niya sa media na parang now maybe you can connect the dots, no? This is crazy. In fact, ito yung statement niya sa isang media channel. Guban's testimony on the container of drugs being allowed to slip through is really significant. The significance in his statement is identifying the people allowing the illegal drugs to slip through. Essentially, ang allegation niya dito is nakaslip through yan kasi may support from the highest levels. This came out just now. In the next hearing, the pieces in the puzzle will be completed and will substantiate our theory that drug money, alright, ito is si Congressman Barbers, who's leading the Quadcom. Alright? Sabi niya, malapit na tayo in terms of putting all of the pieces of puzzle together. In the next hearing, the pieces in the puzzle will be completed and will substantiate our theory that drug money and proceeds of criminal activities are being used to corrupt government officials, including the purchase of land and the establishment of business to launder money. Alright? So, ito yung mga accusations lahat ngayon. No? So, si Guban naman, nag-refrain siya, in fairness naman to him, nag-refrain siya from directly naming names. Pero kung titignan mo dito sa mga reports na yan, at titignan mo dun sa mga sinasabi ng mga members ng committee na yan, kung saan-saan na tayo mapunta dito, di ba? So this is the situation we're looking at, guys, di ba? Things are really, really moving very fast. Okay? 1 second lang. Sorry, guys. I was hoping to connect this para makita niyo yung mga videos and all. Now, just to show this to you guys. Obviously, nag-react na si Sara Duterte at inis na inis yung mga Dutertes because they feel na ang line naman nila is this is political harassment. So, ito yung news kanina from, sorry about that again, nag-rush kasi ako, hindi ko sinaba. I thought all this time nakadikit pala tayo. But anyway, grabe, no? Sinabahan tayo just reading about these things. Parang, wow, this is a high stake. Parang suddenly I'm regretting not watching this committees live. Ibang klase to, guys. Okay, ito. So nag-react naman kanina si Sara Duterte.
Nakadawit na si Davao si Paulo Duterte.
Itong drug shipment noong 2018. Sinabi rin ni Duterte na hindi na sila nagkakausap at nagkikita ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Nagpapatrol, Hernel Tocmo.
Hindi umano makikialam si Vice President Sara Duterte sa muling pagkakadawit ng kanyang kapatid na si Davao City Representative Paulo Duterte at kanyang asawang si Attorney Man Scarpio sa 6 billion peso shabu shipment noong 2018 na ibinunyag ni dating Customs Intelligence Officer Jimmy Guban sa Quadcom hearing ng Kamara nitong Biyernes. Naniniwala ang Vice Presidente na may kinalaman ito sa politika.
Lahat ito ay political harassment, political attacks. Nakikita niyo naman, lumabas siya nung umalis ako sa DepEd, lumabas siya nung nagsasalita na ako kung anong dapat ginagawa natin.
Anyway, guys, so crazy thing. So, again, let's just be clear, all of these at this point are allegations, right? But the thing is kasi matagal na may mga suspicions, may mga conspiracy theories, may mga questions about where the hell are things going. So at least now, there's some people coming out and saying something. But remember, again, this is a committee. This is not a final court. So if ever papunta na ito sa dapat dadaan na sa korte yan. But don't forget also, ang Kongreso po ay may powers din yan, okay? Fiscalizer din sila. If they can gather sufficient evidence here, they can get credible witnesses here, this could move forward in like so many different directions. So, grabe, guys, things are moving really fast. Things are moving really fast. I mean, matagal na natin sinasabi na papunta na tayo dito sa direct clash na ito. At the same time, nakita natin na si Marcos, medyo suabe siya. He took his time kasi January pa lang all-out attack ng mga Duterte sa kanya, di ba? All-out attack right and left. But now what you're seeing is that eto na sa Kongreso, sa Senado, sa iba't ibang branches of the state government, people are coming out and conducting these investigations. So medyo slow burn but nako-culminate na ito, guys. And this is getting closer to also potentially, as Justice Carpio said it, hindi ako nagsabi, Justice Carpio saying, the day of reckoning on the issue of ICC naman. Kaya sabi ko even if sabihin natin hindi mangyari ICC, or even if sabihin natin hindi mangyari itong Quadcom investigations, this will not yield the kind of beyond reasonable doubt evidence. The fact of the matter, guys, is they're all coming together sabay-sabay kasi. And the fact that the government, sinabi nila, even si Menardo Guevara na dating Justice Secretary, hindi ko nagsasabi na we won't stop Interpol if ever they want to push ahead with a warrant for something. This just tells you things are really moving fast. Really fast. Again, as I'm saying, these are allegations, so we have to wait for a court or we have to wait for the proper body to ascertain talaga yung finality na ito. Kasi Dami rin nangyari mga hearings dati, wala naman napuntahan. At the same time, yung mga hearings nangyari dati sa Farmali, saan naman napunta? May hearings naman nangyari kay Kibuloy, nagtago naman, di ba? So this doesn't mean that this is the end of the story, but this does mean, guys, na eto na tayo. Hindi lang tapos ng unit team, medyo talagang direct na bangga nito. Obviously, ang position ng administration is wala kaming kinalaman. This is the Congress doing its own thing. Alright, whether it's investigation, this is a co-equal branch. They're doing their own thing. But even putting aside the fact na ang Speaker of the House is the cousin of the President, close to the President, even if we put that aside, the fact that so many congressmen, so many regional police directors, so many ex-officials in key agencies like PDEA or Customs are coming out and saying these things, it tells you na talaga the tide has shifted. The tide has shifted. Na more and more ex-officials, officials, politicians, people from different branches. So, actually, BBM doesn't even need to tell anyone to do anything. It looks like people are feeding the momentum themselves. It looks like the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. I mean, you literally, yun yung sinabi nung head ng Quadcom, na the pieces of puzzle are coming together. So, it's implying na papunta na tayo dun sa penultimate aspect kung saan magkakaroon ng sigurong kaso na ito. Diba? Papunta na tayo dyan. So, this is a really crazy situation. And this is coming just before nawawalan ng confidential fund ng mga Dutertes, nawawalan ng development fund, at least yung allegations, bumaba yung development fund. And this is happening also just when, right, there's the shadow of ICC warrants of arrest or calling for warrants of arrest is coming in. So ito mga bayaran na trolls and all, they can pagtawanan tayo, hindi mangyari ICC next week or hindi mangyari next month. That's immaterial. The fact that all of these things are happening at the same time should tell you what is the state of play. What is the state of play? At dito natin nakikita, guys, right? Evidence or no evidence. Although many people believe that the evidence is increasingly robust, but evidence or no evidence, ang sinasabi ko dito is, guys, the tide has turned. Grabe. These congressmen we're talking about. These are not like BBM boys, right? These are not from solid North people. These are the Philippine political elite, essentially now closing ranks against the Dutertes. And the fact that Bato de la Rosa had to go on a panic mode and say all of these things about we shouldn't cooperate with ICC, baka kausapin ko lang ICC, baka magpa-interview lang ako sa ICC. All of these shows, guys, the tide has turned. The political tide has turned. At alam natin sa Pilipinas, once the political tide turns, there are legal implications. And beyond. And talagang grabe na ito. So, you never know, guys. If this thing culminates before the end of September, baka mamaya maepektuhan pa yung slate ng opposition. Baka magdadalawang isip pa yung ibang Duterte na tumakbo sa opisina. Baka nga may iba pa na i-challenge pa yung kanilang candidacy. Diba? So, grabe na to, guys. So, things are really moving fast. Again, I'm saying this as someone na last year, ilan years ko na sinasabi. In fact, 2021 pa lang sinasabi ko, magbabanggaan na talaga itong dalawang malaking higanting pamilya na ito. At parati ko sinasabi, hindi ko sinasabi dahil Ilocano ako, solid North ako, whatever. No. Never underestimate the Marcoses. Never. Totoo na never underestimate the Dutertes, sure. But even more, do not underestimate the Marcoses. But for me, what is really incredible here is because parang hindi pa kailangan ni BBM pa mag-orchestrate nito eh. Parang taos-puso na yung iba nang nagsisilabasan eh. At may nakausap din tayong congressman recently na medyo vocal na at yung mga ibang tao na alam nila yung nangyari. Kasi ako, hindi ako dumadalaw sa kongreso. I have so many other works. Pero nakakausap ko yung mga tao na sa loob. And base sa, parang, ang basa ko talaga dito is, the tide has turned talaga. Lalo nung minura-mura sila, ininsulto sila ni Digong na rotten institution kaya and all of that. After yung natanggalan ng confidential phone na anak niya. Talagang, eto na. A line was crossed. So, there's so many people out there na hindi necessarily anti-Duterte. Na hindi necessarily ini-orchestrate ni BBM or Malacanang. But all of them are looking at the writing on the wall and saying, eto na, let's go for it. So, ang tanong talaga dito is, it's not only that baka mahirapan si Sara pang manalo sa 2028. It's not only that baka mahirapan pa sila magbuo ng malakas na slate sa 2025. It's also possible na baka before matapos pang 2025 elections, baka ma-question pa yung candidacy ng iba or hindi pa maka-assume ng office yung iba or even if manalo sa election ng iba, baka ano pa, tuloy-tuloy itong mga investigations na ito. So this is really coming close to home. And the fact that the Duterte family is posting all of those pictures together, etc., it just tells you guys na talagang they're also feeling the heat, no? They're also feeling the heat. So, talagang tanong ko dito is, what do they have up their sleeves? Meron ba silang panglaban at this point in time? Nawawalan na sila ng budget. Nawawalan na sila ng security personnel. Nare-reshuffle na yung mga regional directors ng PNP. Dating mga directors ng police ay lumalabas na. Mga congressman right and left ay nagte-turn na against them. This Quadcom is gathering evidence every single day. Dami mga ex-officials ay nagwi-witness din dito. And then you also have the genuine opposition coming out against Duterte and excited about it. You also have yung mga makabayan bloc, yung mga leftists na for a short time naging alay ni Digong, yung iba pa nga sumali pa. Pero ngayon, mortal na enemy rin. Lahat ng mga yan ay nagsama-sama na. Nagsama-sama na ito. So, grabe na guys. Wow. It's essentially Philippines versus the Dutertes. Parang ganun nangyari. Now, I'm not saying na Dutertes have no support base. But what I'm saying is much of the political elite in this country, grabe, much of the political elite in this country is now really rallying against them. So, wow, these are crazy times, guys. This is parang it's like you saw it coming and then now it's happening. It's like, whoa, man, this is crazy. This is crazy, right? Whoa. So I'm just saying, be open to any possibility in coming weeks, not even coming months, na baka mag-escalate ito sa next level. So I really wonder what Sara is gonna do eh. Kasi nakikita mo, tignan mo yung itsura ni Sara, parang hirap na hirap talaga siya eh. You could really say na hirap talaga siya eh.
Drug shipment noong 2018.
Makikita mo talaga na hirap na. Just look at her body language and all.
President Sara Duterte na political harassment ang pag-uugnay
Just look at her
sa
tone ha, tsaka yung ay sorry, what happened?
kanyang kapatid at asawa sa 6 na bilyong pisong drug shipment noong 2018. Sinabi rin ni Duterte na hindi na sila nagkakausap at nagkikita ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Nagpapatrol, Hernel Tocmo.
Hindi umano makikialam si Vice President Sara Duterte sa muling
Hoy, Ali John,
ng kanyang
iyak na
kapatid
naman kayo dyan.
si Davao City
Sige lang, iyak
Representative
lang kayo
Paulo
dyan.
Duterte
Sige, denial pa
at
kayo.
kanyang asawang si Attorney Man Scarpio sa 6 billion peso shabu shipment noong
Iyak ka lang dyan.
2018 na ibinunyag ni dating Customs Intelligence Officer Jimmy Guban sa Quadcom hearing ng Kamara nitong Biyernes. Naniniwala ang Vice Presidente na may kinalaman ito sa politika.
Lahat ito,
Tingnan yung facial expression niya.
political harassment, political attacks.
Tignan mo yung parang
Ano naman, lumabas siya nung umalis ako sa DepEd, lumabas siya nung nagsasalita na ako kung anong dapat ginagawa natin.
kaya guys, I'm saying yun nga eh, okay, you never know. Baka nga si Sara might even run for a different office. Kasi ngayon parang wala. She's just floating in the air. Essentially, she's occupying an empty shell. Yes, vice president siya, but essentially she's occupying empty shell. The only value lang yung kanyang office ngayon is if God forbid something happens to BBM. But that's a completely different conversation. So I won't be even surprised that baka there's a conversation for Sara to even come back to Davao and reconsolidate their base and try to survive, hold on as mayor of Davao until 2026, 2027, keep popular, stay like a victim, dismiss all of this as political harassment. Maybe there'll be setbacks here and there, but go, and then by 2027, you're back in business. We don't know, guys. Grabe. This is gonna be crazy. I can already see here dun sa mga ka-DDS natin na galit kay BBM ngayon, 'di ba? Kitang-kita natin na this could get really crazy. Okay, I'll keep it there, guys. Ipopost ko na lang sa baba yung mga links na binabasa natin. I thought all this time the links were coming out. Yung pala hindi. So I didn't connect it and all. But you can check those links. Everything we discuss is based on the news and evidence and everything that's coming out. And siguro by Monday at early next week, makikita natin na there'll be even more developments on this front. So on that note, thank you very much, guys. Maraming salamat. Thank you for supporting us. I have to go to another meeting. Habol ko rin yung isa pang meeting. International Affairs, Geopolitics naman. Dami nangyari. Grabe, I'm just trying to keep up with a lot of things. Kakatapos ko lang isa pang podcast ko naman. Europe, Asia naman. So, sorry, medyo I'm all over the place. But, wow. Crazy times. Crazy times. Huge developments. Huge developments. All right. Thank you guys, and please continue to support us. Subscribe lang kayo, tuloy-tuloy lang dito sa YouTube. Kailangan natin na push lang tayo ng push para makamit natin yung minimum na kailangan natin. Malapit na tayo dun sa threshold natin para legit na tayo sa YouTuber, and ma-blue check na natin yan, ma-verify natin. And please continue to support us also here on Facebook, Instagram, and different platforms. On that note, thank you very much. God bless, and talk to you soon.